Hello, friends. Continuing with our episodes on how to start and face the new year. In today's episode, we shall talk about businesses, what they will be like in 2025, what is going to be the business environment with so much changes and activities happening all over the world, and what are the things that you would need to do to ensure so that your business grows and flourishes despite all these challenging global situations. If you recall, in the first episode that I did as a part of this series on how to make goals or how to set your targets for 2025 or the new year, okay, I had mentioned that the first step that you should do is to review your current status, see what you did in the last year, and from those, what are the things that benefited you and what are the things that did not help you and do not have the potential to help you also. Okay, so you need to analyze all of this, and then the data get you that out of that is going to be your guideline for setting goals for the coming year. And taking a cue from that, I suggest that even in business, you follow a similar routine. But before that, I have a suggestion. I would suggest that you take the month of January, whatever is left out of it. You take this month and designate that month as a soul searching and simplification period. Soul searching means doing exactly what we spoke of at about the review, okay, where you review what you did the previous year, you find out what succeeded, you find out what did not succeed, and you find out what did not succeed but is needed and has the potential to succeed. It is important. Once you have done this, then the other thing I mentioned is about the simplification process. The simplification process is really an easy activity, but a very critical activity and needs to be done with all honesty. It's the simple steps to do it. Get every one of your team. Naturally, it's the team that matters. I mean, I don't say if you've got 1,000 employees, I'm not saying every 1,000 of them, but it can be done at a department level also. But you as the owner or the CEO of the business, take your core team and find out what are the activities. Ask them to list down the activities that they do and what their responsibilities are. Now, once that list is made, get them to divide all of those activities, whatever points they have mentioned in that, into 4 different categories. The first category is important and necessary. The second category is what are the activities that they do that can be simplified, but they are not doing it because there's a certain system or process set up. What are the activities from that list that can be optimized? And it may not be just optimized by them alone, but maybe it can be optimized with somebody else who is doing an activity which is correlated. So what are the activities that can be optimized? And finally, what are the activities that can be deleted? He's doing that, but is serving no substantial purpose, or something else is doing that, though as a part of some other bigger project, but you need to find out what can be deleted. Now, after this list is done, you need to ensure that all the important and necessary activities stay alive, and they have the required resources allocated to them, whether it is in terms of finance, whether it is in terms of time, whether it is in terms of manpower allocation, whatever it is, those activities must get what they require. They have to be fed well. As far as the other categories are concerned, simplify, optimize, or junk them, as the case may be. But here I like to point out one significant thing. What is junk for one person may be required by another person because that junk that this person is doing is the basis of another activity that somebody else is doing. So before junking anything, you need to check the interdependencies of the tasks that we are talking about. And while doing this entire exercise, think in terms of outcomes, not in terms of your priorities for the task. You need to make sure that the outcome that you get out of the task that is being done is something that is in sync with your goal and the values you have set for your company. After having simplified these processes and systems, I think what will also happen along with that, and if it does not, you should make it a point to let that happen, is that you need to clarify, you need to clear your mind, your thoughts, and your focus. It needs to be completely well defined so that you know which direction to take and what to do. You need to decide what are the primary and basic goals of any business. Common sense will tell us that the goals of any business are good governance, better stakeholder satisfaction, all stakeholders across the board, whether it is your investors, whether it is your employees, whether it is your customers, whether it is your suppliers, all of them, whether it's the government, they are a stakeholder too, okay? All of them should be happy and should be satisfied. But to top the list, and that is what a business is all about. A business is there to make money. It is not a charity that is being run. You might do charity out of the money you earn, but your basic principle is to make money. So you need superior profits and returns on your investment. So these are the common goals of any business, not only for 2025. This is something that is everlasting. Now, to achieve all of this and to start taking the new year and helping yourself to reach greater heights, I have an assortment of thoughts that I have put together to help you achieve this and maybe guide you to a certain extent. But let me warn you, as always, these thoughts are not listed in any order of importance or preference. These thoughts have been listed as they kept coming to my mind. And therefore, there may be something that is important that comes a little later, but something that is not so important that comes. Yes, they are in the order in which I started recollecting or thinking about. So the first thing that comes to mind is that as a business, you should focus on high margin product and services that you offer. After all, you are here to make money. Okay, so analyze your offerings. You may have 20 different products or 20 different services you offer. Analyze them and see which are the ones that give you higher margin and which are worth pursuing and developing further. Junk those that do not offer significant revenue and or profits. But when you're junking these, remember that the revenue and profits we talk of, you have to look at them directly and indirectly. Why I say this is that in my business, as I was running, there were certain products that we were doing so that we could feed our customers with those products and sell other product which was highly profitable. So it was a balancing act that we are doing. And we would look at it as a package. Both the products together, is it still making us and giving us good ROI or not? And you need to upsell and cross-sell to existing customers. This is very, very important. You need to track and monitor your cash flow. I've seen a lot of business face tremendous challenges, some of them even folding up and not being able to run the business any further because they have not been monitoring and tracking their cash flow. So your first thing is you need to develop systems, hopefully as a part of your software that you are using. which reminds you about the receivables and payables that are due, maybe weekly, monthly, fortnightly, depending, but you need to set up a system to do it. Okay? You need to negotiate better terms with your suppliers, because a supplier credit can be a great capital infusement for your product. And equally important, though challenging, because you have to do a lot of balancing here, is to ensure that the negotiated terms with your customers are respected by them, that you get paid on time, that goods are picked up on time, that you are not sitting on inventory that they ordered and which they are not picking up, and your entire budgeting goes for a toss. The next thing you need to remember is that you need to constantly upskill your team. This is what I have noticed a lot of companies just do not bother about. And trust me, if you don't do this, there is somebody else who's going to overtake you only because they trained and made their team far better than yours. And you need to train your team, train them for sales, train them to negotiate with the customers to get the best deal possible, and train them to upsell and cross-sell. Upselling and cross-selling is something that you get without investing expenses in marketing. So you need to train people how to do this. And that's an important. And while your team is doing all this, you need to set up measurable goals by which you will judge their performance. These goals should be judged periodically. The good top performers should be rewarded. It doesn't have to be a big, hefty reward. I have seen a sales team, okay, where just giving them a chocolate, which doesn't cost even maybe 50 rupees or 70 rupees, but in front of the whole office is a great motivator. So you need to motivate your team by giving them a reward, which does not have to be expensive, but which conveys your appreciation and gives him the glory that he rightly deserves. Okay, and these kind of rewards and these kind of activities will motivate every single person on the team to strive harder who doesn't like the recognition. So you need to upskill your team. You need to automate and streamline all your processes and systems. You need to identify what are the weaknesses and inefficiencies that exist within your system, which is existing and operating as of today. And as a leader, as the owner of the business or as the CEO of the business, you need to delegate the simple and low priority tasks. They are, or you are, way above that pay scale. Don't waste your time. Don't waste the resources on doing things that somebody else can do it. Your job is to focus on strategy and growth. And that should be your primary function as the CEO or the owner of the business. Something that I have learned many, many years back, and it has helped me in good stead till today, is take great care of and leverage your existing customers. There are customers I used to work with 40 years back, with whom I still work, in a different category of product, but with whom I still work. And doing this is not only building a relationship, but it makes a lot of commercial sense, because acquiring new customers is tough, it is time consuming, and it is very expensive. It costs quite a package. So to make sure that you take care of your existing customers, offer them some discounts, offer some kind of a loyalty program, offer them some perks. It doesn't have to be just better payment terms. Okay, don't compromise on that, because that then becomes a habit. Okay, communicate regularly with your customers. Do not miss that. Stay in touch with them. And as an owner or a CEO, periodically call up and check in with the customers whether they are happy working with your team and if they are having any challenges which you can help them to address. That, trust me, creates a super amount of loyalty for you and your organization. Embrace change and learning. If you do not adapt, if you do not upgrade yourself and your team, if you do not be flexible, you are going to be left behind. As I said, you may be the best today, but if you don't keep striving forward, if you don't keep working towards getting better, the others are, and at some time they will start overtaking you, and you will not remain the first after that. Okay? In today's world, flexibility is not an option. It is the very key to your survival and to your success. Remember, this is something that is very important. And as I said, I'm still working with some people I used to work with 40 years back. Remember that your network is your net worth. Your network, you build real and solid relationships, and the right connections can open doors for you, and they can give you opportunities which you may not even have dreamt of. As a company, make sure that your product is not just a product. You should be selling solutions through your product. Okay? And this kind of product is what will create value and respect, and the consumer coming back again and again for your product. So sell solutions, not just product. Be resilient. Things take time. Don't give up. Maybe you are just one step away when you give up. Give up only when you can see nothing except darkness, and you know that, okay, you made an effort, but it's not working. Make gut and adaptability your core strengths. You need to have it in your gut to push and be resilient. Using gut in a different form. Trust your data more than your gut. Okay? The guts are different. That gut is about being resilient. This gut is about saying, oh, I think this will work. No. Check with the data. If your gut says something different from what the data says, revalidate both your gut and your data. But trust data. Don't just rely on your gut alone. In today's times, you need to empower the team. You cannot possibly do everything yourself. No matter you work 24 hours a day, you cannot do everything yourself. So you need to empower the team. You need to delegate to them. You need to train them, and you need to help them grow, because then that team is going to be loyal to you and not start looking. People don't quit jobs. They quit bosses who are not thinking of the future of the team, and they quit organizations that do not offer an opportunity for them to grow. Be authentic always. Be honest and real. Don't try to project yourself or your organization as perfect. Nobody will believe you, and nobody cares whether you're perfect or not, as long as you are delivering what you promise. Efficient. Be authentic. Focus and innovate. As I say always, innovate or perish. You need to focus and innovate, not just on the products or services, but more importantly, in today's time, you need to be very creative on employee growth and retention. Just like finding a new customer is very expensive, getting new employees and training them is also very expensive, not only in terms of money, but in terms of loss of opportunity while he's being trained. In today's times, and I know this from firsthand, my daughter and my son and all of them, sustainability is essential. I mean, there will be debates on whether this product is more sustainable or that, but anybody I have noticed who has that sustainability mark on their packing outdo the others who don't. Their growth is always much better. And if you want to automate and get better and efficient, you need to embrace technology. Okay, but at the same time, do not make technology to the extent where you lose the personal touch completely. I know I'm working with banks and brands today where it is impossible to talk to a human being. And you cannot even judge how frustrated it is. So automate, but do not lose the human touch. Be very judicious in your capital allocation and your resource allocation, especially with regards to manpower. Manpower is your biggest asset. And finally, remember that success is holistic. It begins and ends with you. So you need to prioritize your well-being. You need to keep learning. And most of all, you need to stay grounded and be human. Okay? Follow the steps, and I promise you, success will come your way in 2025 and forever after that. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Do send in your comments. I'll be looking forward to that. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you.